Welcome back to my channel Coin Purchaser, where we uncover the hidden stories and incredible values behind the coins you may have in your pocket right now. Today, we're diving deep into a very special piece of American coinage, the 1980 Liberty 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Cent. If you've ever come across this coin and wondered if it could be worth more than just a penny, then stay tuned, because this little copper coin has a lot more to it than meets the eye. The Liberty 1 cent from 1980 is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, which first began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln Cent made history as the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, breaking the tradition of using allegorical designs. The 1980 version of this coin retains the iconic bust of Lincoln on the obverse side, while the reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. This memorial design was created by Frank Gasparo, and it stayed in use until 2008, after which it was replaced with a new design in 2009. Now let's talk about what made the 1980 issue unique. This was the era of high inflation, economic transition, and major discussions about the cost of coin production. The 1980 Lincoln Cent was made mostly of copper, which added to its collectible interest, especially considering later pennies switched to a mostly zinc composition starting mid-1982. Here are the core details of the 1980 Liberty 1 cent coin. Obverse: Abraham Lincoln's profile with the words, "In God We Trust." Above, Liberty, to the left, and the date, 1980, on the right. Reverse, the Lincoln Memorial with United States of America and E Pluribus Unum above, and 1 cent below. Composition 95% copper, 5% zinc. Weight 3.11 grams. Diameter 19.05 mm. Now let's talk numbers. More than 12 billion Lincoln Cents were minted in 1980 across all three U.S. mints. Philadelphia Mint, No Mint mark over 7.4 billion coins. Denver Mint, D mark over 5.1 billion coins. San Francisco Mint, S mark. Proof coins only around 3.5 million proof coins. That's a massive mintage. But wait, not all of them are ordinary. Even though billions of these coins were made, not all of them are created equal. Some rare varieties and mint errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today. Look out for double die obverse, DD, or rare error where the inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled. These coins can fetch from $50 to $300 depending on condition. Off-center strikes. If your 1980 penny was struck off-center, especially over 50% off, its value could go up to $100 or more. High-grade mint state coins, MS-67 or higher. Most circulated 1980 pennies aren't worth much more than face value. But if you have a coin that is virtually untouched, brilliant red, and graded MS-67 by PCGS or NGC, it could sell for $100 to $400 or more in auctions. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially in PR69 or PR70 deep cameo grades, are also quite valuable to collectors. Now let's talk about current market value in 2025. Circulated 1980 pennies, typically worth 1 to 5 cents depending on copper value. Uncirculated MS-65 red around $5 to $1.15. MS-67 plus red up to $400. Proof 1980 S and PR69 or PR70 between $15 to $100 plus error coins, depending on rarity and visibility, can range between $50 and $500 also. Don't forget, pre-1982 Lincoln cents are 95% copper, which means their melt value is higher than 1 cent. As of now, the raw copper in a single 1980 penny is worth around 2 to 3 cents, depending on market prices. However, it's illegal to melt US cents for copper, so this only matters to collectors and investors looking for long-term value. So, is the 1980 Liberty 1 cent coin worth keeping? Absolutely yes. Not only is it a piece of history, but if you have a high-grade example or a rare mint error, your little copper coin could be worth hundreds of dollars. Even ordinary ones are collectible due to their copper content and the historical significance of the Lincoln Memorial design. Always check your old pennies before spending or tossing them away. You never know, a simple coin could turn into a treasure. Thanks for watching, coin lovers. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1980 Liberty 1 cent coin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing coin stories and values. Drop a comment below if you have a rare penny or want us to cover a specific coin next. Until next time, happy collecting and keep checking your change. You might be holding a hidden fortune in your hand. Coin lovers and treasure hunters, we dive deep into the world of rare and valuable coins hiding right in your pockets. If you love coin collecting or you're just curious whether that old penny in your drawer is worth a fortune, you've come to the right place. Today, we're talking about a small but mighty piece of American coinage, the Liberty 1 cent from the year 1981. This little copper coin might look ordinary, but its story, value, and hidden rarities make it one of the most fascinating coins from the 1980s. The history of the Liberty 1 cent 1981 inch. Let's start with a little background. The 1981 Liberty 1 cent is part of the famous Lincoln cent series, which began all the way back in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin was the first American coin to feature a real person's portrait. For decades, it has been a staple in American pockets. By 1981, these pennies were still made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which is important because just 1 year later in 1982, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc composition due to the rising cost of copper. That makes the 1981 penny one of the last true copper Lincoln cents. Mint locations and circulation numbers. In 1981, the Liberty 1 cent was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco. Let's look at how many were made. Philadelphia Mint, over 7.5 billion coins. Denver Mint, over 5.4 billion coins. San Francisco Proofs, around 4.06 million coins. That means the 1981 penny is not rare in general circulation. But wait, keep watching, because some specific coins from this year can be extremely valuable due to mint errors and collector demand. Key varieties and errors to look for. Now here's where things get exciting. If you own a 1981 penny, flip it under a magnifying glass and look closely. You might just strike gold if you find one of these rare errors. Double die obverse, look for doubling in the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date 1981. Some of these have sold for hundreds of dollars depending on the clarity of the doubling. Off-center strikes. A penny that is off-center by 10% to 90% is a minting error, and collectors pay big for clean examples. sometimes up to $250 or more. BIE error. This is when a small vertical die break appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, making it look like Liberty. These quirky flaws can sell for $5 to $50. Proof coins. If you have a 1981 S proof in pristine condition, especially graded PR69 or PR70, these can be worth $20 to over $100 depending on demand and the quality of the strike. Metal value and the copper factor. Now let's talk about the metal content. Because this penny was made from 95% copper, its melt value alone is worth more than face value. As of now, the copper content of a single 1981 penny is worth around 2.5 to 3 cents, depending on the copper market. It's illegal to melt down pennies for their metal value in the US. But this gives you an idea of how inflation and metal prices have impacted even the most common coins. Current market value. Alright, so how much is a 1981 Liberty 1 cent worth today? In circulated condition, most are worth 1 to 5 cents due to high mintage. In uncirculated condition, MS65 and above, they can fetch $1 to $10. Proof versions, 1981s, in high grades can sell for $20 to $150 or more. Error coins like double dies or off-center strikes can bring in $100 to $500 plus, depending on rarity and condition. Collectors are especially interested in coins that are certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, so if you think your 1981 penny is special, consider getting it graded. Should you keep it or sell it? If you have a clean, shiny, well-preserved 1981 Liberty 1 cent, it's worth holding on to, especially if it's an error coin or a proof. Even if it's a regular one, copper pennies are becoming more collectible over time. Many collectors are now hoarding pre-1982 copper cents for their future potential value. So, that little penny from 1981 might just be worth more than you think. Whether it's a rare error, a shiny proof, or just a beautiful piece of American coin history, the Liberty 1 cent 1981 deserves a place in your collection. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment below if you have a 1981 penny and tell us what kind it is. Maybe you're sitting on a treasure and don't even know it. Until next time, keep collecting, keep hunting, and who knows, the next coin you find might just change your life. Where every coin tells a story and every penny might just be worth a fortune. If you're a coin collector, treasure hunter, or just curious about the value of the change in your pocket, you're in for a real treat today. Because in this video, we're diving deep into the world of the 1982 Liberty 1 cent coin, a coin that's not just common but surprisingly complex, mysterious, and potentially valuable. So sit tight, hit that like button, and let's explore the secrets hidden in the 1982 Lincoln cent. The year 1982 marked a major turning point in the history of the U.S. penny. Up until that year, all 1 cent coins were made primarily of 95% copper. But in 1982, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint made a critical decision. They changed the composition of the penny. From mid-1982 onward, the U.S. Mint began producing pennies made of 97.5% zinc, coated with just a thin layer of copper, a big difference in weight, value, and appearance. This means that 1982 is the only year in U.S. coinage history where both copper and zinc versions of the penny were minted simultaneously. Not only that, but the mint also introduced several different design variations, which means there are 7 known varieties of the 1982 penny. Some have a large date, some have a small date, and each of those come in both copper and zinc versions. That makes the 1982 penny one of the most complicated and collectible coins of the Lincoln Memorial Series. Here are the main varieties of the 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin. 1982 large date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date copper, 1982 small date zinc, 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D large date zinc, 1982 D small date zinc. No official 1982 D small date copper was supposed to exist, but one was discovered. Yes, you heard that right. Only one 1982 D small date copper coin has been confirmed, and it's considered a mega rarity, worth tens of thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about money. How much are these 1982 Liberty 1-cent coins actually worth today? Common 1982 copper or zinc pennies in circulated condition are generally worth 1 to 3 cents. Based on their metal content. But it gets much more interesting when you consider the rare varieties. 1982 small date copper and small date zinc coins, especially in uncirculated or high-grade condition, can be worth $10 to $50. The 1982 D small date zinc is fairly common, but if found in high mint state condition, it can be worth $10 to $100 plus. The king of all 1982 pennies is the 1982 D small date copper. Only one has been officially authenticated by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service. That single coin sold for over $18,000 at auction. And experts believe there could be more still out there, waiting to be discovered. So, if you have a 1982 penny, especially with the Denver Mint Mark D, you might want to check if it's a small date and test if it's copper. It could be a once-in-a-lifetime find. You don't need expensive tools to find out whether your 1982 penny is copper or zinc. Just use a precise digital scale. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams. So, if your 1982 penny weighs over 3 grams and has a small date, especially with the Denver Mint Mark, don't spend it. Get it checked by a professional grading service. In total, more than 10.7 billion 1-cent coins were struck in 1982. Here's a quick breakdown. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark over 10 billion. Denver Mint, D over 6 billion. That's a massive mintage, but only a few of these are the rare, valuable varieties. Most are still sitting in jars, drawers, and old collections. That's why coin collectors and treasure hunters are always searching through 1982 pennies. The odds are small, but the reward could be huge. The 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin is more than just a penny. It's a part of American history, a product of economic change, and a symbol of hidden treasure. Whether you're a beginner or an expert collector, checking your 1982 pennies might be one of the smartest moves you can make today. So what are you waiting for? Go grab your coin jar, start checking those dates and weights, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to discover a $10,000 penny. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a chance to discover hidden gems like the 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story, and every story has a value.